Yes, I I spent quite a lot of time to feel about the topics of this lesson. So finally, I think that applying IT technologies in new applications will be yeah, one of the best topic or best name for today's lecture. In fact, we are going to talk. So today we have lots of things that is related to IT. We have lots of things that is related to computer science or coding, etc. Right? We create apps, we create games, we create VR application, etc., etc., etc. Right? So yeah, how we can use the IT technologies and create something that we need for our daily life. Okay, so I chose this topic. Hopes yeah, you know that what is the technology behind the scene, technology behind the screen. Okay, your phone or your PC screen. Okay, and then you know the structure behind, and then you know the technologies behind. So there are two ways to learn IT, CS, computer science, coding, app development, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so yeah, the first way, of course, is bottom up. Bottom up. Okay, here is bottom up. So this is the traditional academic approach or traditional teaching in university, or you would say that in your secondary school, etc. Okay. So what's going on? So the teachers, okay, the lecturer in the university, they will teach you about the coding, about the computational thinking, okay? So they will teach you about the variable first, variables, and then they will teach you about the full control. That means if, that means for, okay? That means the function call, etc. Then they will teach you about the object-oriented programming, so how you define the object, etc. So the output or the outcomes of your teacher and learning in university in year one in computer science professional. So most likely the first thing you can do is hardware or we call it P9. Okay. Then they will ask you to learn how to use the coding to do some logical problems or logical thinking. That is the computational thinking. So for example, how a farmer can bring a duck, or a vegetable across the river. Okay, so every time he can only carry two kinds of things, etc. So you are required to use the if, for, function call, etc. program or object-oriented programming to do such kind of programming. You cannot call the library, you cannot call the API, and then what you get is some logical thinking by using the programming skills. So you are going to type in the programming line by line, and then you add a computer and then implement the procedure line by line, okay, to achieve some logical question, to achieve some basic fundamental questions. So if you are the computer science student, definitely you have the experience to print the star, okay, to print the star as a Christmas tree, or you print the star as a triangle or as a special design pattern. So it's a training how you use the coding, how you use the if for procedure call or object-oriented programming to solve some problems. Then you will be asked to learn some data structure questions. Okay, so how to use the tree structure, how to use the graph model, how to use different kinds of data structure to solve some complicated computer science problems. So after that, you will learn about the algorithm. Okay, so maybe it's about the AI, maybe it's about the computer visions, maybe it's about the security, blockchain, etc., etc. After that, so you are able to build some application. For example, you can build some web applications, you can build some app, you can build some games, VR, blockchain, IoT of thing, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so bottom-up approach is a traditional approach is good. Okay, but for lots of the students, even in our computer science student, so they find difficulty in learning the computation thinking. Okay, so one of the yeah, most difficult subject in our department is the fundamental programming. It's hard to add a computer and think the problem line by line. And then our students have no idea why I need to solve this kind of IQ, okay, this kind of logic questions by using the programming. So they are not interested and they are not motivated to do it, okay? And yeah, it's a really long time to study the programming, and finally you can do some applications, VR app or games, etc., etc. It's really difficult. But it's good that yeah, now you can have some top-down approach. Top-down approach. So fans for this 30 to 40 years development. Okay, so studying computer, you need not to start all the things from zero. You build the application, you need not to build all the things from zero, because there are lots of the people. They create lots of the interesting library. They create lots of the framework for you. Okay, so there is another approach called top-down approach. Okay, so top-down approach means that I will create the app. Okay, I will create the apps. Okay, by calling some framework, by calling some library, or by yeah, I will say that copy some of the program. Okay, copy some of the program. Okay, so only a few programming lines, and then you can do a really complicated program, because lots of the word behind the screen is handled by the others. Is handled by the other libraries or other firmware algorithm, etc. Okay, so what you are going to do, you do the interface. So limited word with lots of interesting application. So this one is the top-down approach. So after you have built a web, whatever is web, app, game, etc., VR, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so you want to know more behind the screen, and then you learn better algorithm. You will try to improve your data structure technique. You will try to improve your coding technique. Okay, so this kind of top-down approach, we call it studio-based learning or problem-based learning, etc. So we try to create an application and learn what is the technologies behind. Okay. In this course, we do the same thing. Okay, we do the same thing. So wherever you are good in computer science or law, or wherever you're good in programming or logical thinking or not, okay, you can still create some interesting apps. Okay, and then if you're motivated, and then if you are interested in this kind of approach, you can learn more what's going on behind. So yeah, we need to talk about the structure of your IT product. So in this course, you are going to create applications, okay, applications or games, okay, that is coded by the MIT Scratch, and then you are going to use this MIT Scratch application to the ID or to the MLP student, okay. So what's inside? What's inside, or what are going to include inside this application? It can be divided into two parts. The first one is the library, the platform that you are using is Google Teachable Machine. Okay, so Google Teachable Machine is a PaaS. Okay, PaaS. Okay, Teachable Machine means that the machine, you can teach the machine to recognize. You can teach the machine to do some things for you. Okay, I will explain more later. So it's a machine learning approach. Okay, machine learning approach. And then if you want to know more, so it fall into machine learning approach, and then supervised learning, and then neural network, and then convolution neural network, and then squeeze lab. So the library that you are using in this application is squeeze lab. Okay. So you can also use some computer keywords or key terms instead of machine learning. So it also fall in instead of machine learning here. Okay, you can also fall in computer visions. Okay, it's a recognition problem, or we call it image classification problem. So there are lots of keywords or technologies, right? I know that you can't understand them one by one, but we will have the bottom-up approach. We will have the top-down approach, and then we will talk about the PAS, and then go deep, one by one to let you know what's going on inside your IT products. Okay. So yeah, Google are going to handle the core part, is handle the image recognize part. So your part here will be interface or code logic. So you are going to use the MIT Scratch, okay, to do some program work, okay, to do some program work, if, then, else, and then you can, you can do, you can handle it by using MC questions, or you can handle the applications by include an interactive storyboard, okay, or some action games or others, okay, by your creativity. For example, if I create a interactive story, okay, I create interactive storyboard, okay, or interactive story, okay, interactive story. So for example, is the story about Frozen, okay, Frozen, about Frozen. So perhaps you can ask the student to bring some object, okay, for example, Frozen, you can ask them to bring a snowman, okay, a snowman, or you can ask them to prepare some toys that relate to snow or relate to the winter or relate to pool, something like that, okay. So when they get the correct object, for example, they get the snowman, they can continue the story, okay. So this is one of the applications that you can do. So you are going to train your the snowman inside the Google Teachable Machine first, okay? You ask the children to prepare the snowman first and then show it in front of the camera. So they, the Teachable Machine capture the image of snowman and then recognize the snowman, okay? Recognize the snowman. And then when they put the snowman again in front of your application, MIT Scratch, okay? So the MIT Scratch will pass the image to the Teachable Machine and then see is snowman or not, okay? If the Google Teachable Machine says, hey, yes, it's a snowman, so you will return a yes or snowman value to your MIT Scratch, and then you can continue your interactive story, okay? Interactive story. So this is your application, and then how you can use them cutting-edge technologies, and then how the SEN, how the SD, how the MLP student, okay? MLD student, okay? So yeah, I know there are lots of the terms about the cutting edge technologies, but don't worry, we will go through it one by one, okay? So as I have mentioned before, there are lots of library, there are lots of supports that is created by the others, okay, by the IT professionals, by the IT company, etc. So most likely, today we seldom, or I would say that we never create a program or create an IT solution from zero. That means line by line, line by line, and then character by character. We will not do that. Even a big company, so they will try to call the library, or they have some framework for their development. Okay, so or somehow if you wish to go to IBM and then you go to the Google's or you go to the Microsoft, that you are going to create some API, you are going to create some library for the other to use. Otherwise, we will not create the program from zero. So we will select different kinds of support from the IT company. Okay. So how to select the support, right? The first thing you need to know that is what level or what kind of things, okay, what kind of things I need to create for my IT solutions. Okay, what kind of things I need to create for my IT solutions. So there are different levels of the support that we can use. Is SAS, PAS, and IAS. Okay. SAS means that software as a service. Okay, software as a service. That means it's a software. Okay, that means a software. So Gmail is a software, Dropbox is a software, Google Apps is a software, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so somehow, yeah, you can still use them as part of your service. For example, if you want to communicate with others, so somehow you have a button and then redirect the things to Gmail. Okay, or if you want to store something, perhaps you will put it in YouTube, and then inside the app you will load the movie from the YouTube, etc. Okay, and in these lessons, or most likely for most of the application, we will use the PAS. Okay, PAS, platform. Where's my pen? Yeah, sorry, platform as a service. Okay, platform as a service. That means it's a tools or SDK, standard development kits, or is a library. Okay, it's a library for you to create the software, okay, for you to create the software. So there are lots of the library you can use. For example, they can provide the user interface, they can provide the machine learning, they can provide the computer visions, they can provide the chatbot, they can provide lots of different library, okay, that you can use, okay, that you can use. Okay, so there are a couple of examples. For example, we are going to use Google, okay, Google Service, okay, Google Service. Microsoft, they also provide a similar thing. For example, Microsoft Azure, okay, or you can go to AWS, Amazon, okay, Amazon Web Service. They also provide similar service. And if you are in China, so Tencent or somehow about the Huawei, so you can ask the service from them. So they also create similar platforms, okay? So they provide the SDK for you, they provide the library for you. So how they can earn money? If you use their service, okay? So for example, you use their computer visions to recognize an image, right? So you need to pay for each transaction, okay? Okay, for example, if you have used for more than 1,000 transactions, 1,000 times, okay, so you need to pay for them, okay, so they charge for your usage, okay, they charge for your usage, or you can say it charged by usage on demand, okay. So PS also, besides the SDK, PS also provides you the infrastructure, okay, infrastructure. So infrastructure means that it's a hardware, okay? Okay, for easy understanding, it's a PC or it's a server, okay? It's a hardware with the OS, with the network. So a dedicated hardware is put inside a dedicated data center, okay? Provide a internet access, and then you can connect to a server to do the work, okay? You need not to turn on your machine at home, and then you need not to turn on your machine in our lab, okay? So all these kind of things you can depends on trustable data center, we trustable server, we trustable hardware, okay? So they have the network, they have the hardware, they also provide you the OS, okay? So that's why we call it virtual machine, okay? So you have the GPU, you have the memory, you have the network ready inside, okay? So if you want to enlarge your usage, or you want to enlarge the support of your service, so you can just go to the IaaS, okay, infrastructure as a service, and then yes, I want more computation power, or I want more network, etc. I want more bandwidth, etc. So again, AWS, Google's, or Microsoft, or Huawei, or Tencent, they also provide such kind of things. So here is a graph to recognize, okay, to recognize what is SAS, and then what is the PS, and also the IaaS, okay. For the SAS, okay, so most likely you cannot change here, okay, SAS. So most likely you cannot change anything, okay. You cannot change anything. You cannot change the flows of programming. You cannot change the structure of their program. What you can do is you use their service. Okay, perhaps you can change the interface, just like the Gmail. You can change the background of your Gmail, etc. Okay, so this one is SAS. And other is platform as a service. Okay, here platform as a service. So they provide the hardware for you. So here is the hardware, okay? They provide the OS for you. They provide the middleware, okay? That means the library, runtime, etc. Okay? They also provide the storage for you. So you can use their platform to create something, okay? To create something that is interesting. So we are using Zoom now, right? Or somehow you can also using Teams. Zoom or Teams, it can be a SAS, okay, software as a service. So you turn on the Zoom, you turn on the Teams, and then you enjoy the video conferencing. It can also be a PS. I use the Team server, that means the Microsoft server, or I use the Zoom server. Okay, I use their bandwidth, I use their infrastructure, but they also provide a SDK. Okay, they also provide the SDK for you to edit their interface. Okay, that means I can create the interface again, or I can combine the Teams in client's interface or Zoom client interface with the other. For example, we are using Blackboard, right? So we can combine Zoom into our backboard, okay? Or even we can combine Zoom into our Teams, into different kinds of learning management system, LMS, etc. Okay, so this one is one of the example. So infrastructure as a service, okay? Infrastructure as a service. So they will provide the hardware. So you see that they will provide the hardware, and then you have the possibility to change your to build your OS or other kinds of things. Okay, so it's okay. You just remember we are here PS. Okay, and it's a it's a common development development style nowadays. Okay. Okay, Google Teachable Machine. Okay, so again, teachable machine means that is machine learning. It doesn't mean that it's going to teach you to do something. So you are request to provide the data and then teach the machine to do something. Okay, so it's really funny names. It's produced by Google. Exactly, remember it should be 2018 or 2019, something like that. Okay, it's the Google free no coding deep learning creation web platform. Okay, platform. So it's a PaaS. That means you can use this platform to use their deep learning model. Okay, to use their deep learning model, and then train up for some machine learning model to create a web application to fulfill your need. For example, you can just like here, you can recognize the image to see that to continue the interactive story, or you can provide an image to teach the student whether they have wear a mask or not. Okay, so the machine learning can determine the children has a mask or they do not have a mask. Okay, so you can do this kind of the training. You can change image, audios, or pose. Okay, so after you have trained the model, you can put into Scratch. Okay, I know that Scratch is not say that one of the interface that you can use. Okay, so you can also push the trained model into Pilot. Okay, into the other programming platform, for example Python. Okay, for example Python or Unity or C# or Java or other kinds of web application, for example PHP, etc. So the step is you prepare image, okay? You prepare image or you prepare some videos, okay? Image or videos, and then you tell what is the class, okay? What is the class? For example, this one is belongs to the full body of a dot, and then this one belongs to the face of a dot. So you give them the labels, okay? You give them the labels. That means we will say that expected outcome, okay? So you gather the informations, okay, and then you need to press a button. That means to train the model. Okay, train the model. So the Google Teachable Machine, they will run the deep learning behind. Okay, it takes few minutes. It takes a really short time. I will explain this technique to you later. Okay, and then you can export the model here. Okay, you can export the model, and this model can be used by different kinds of web applications or app applications. Okay, so similar to the lab that you are going to do. So you are going to capture a source of videos, okay, a source of videos, and then you are going to give them the labels of this set of image. Then you go to a training, and then you preview your output. So if you say that if you accept the output or accept the accuracy of the output, right? So you can export the model into your Scratch or into different kinds of programming language, okay? If you do not accept the accuracy, so somehow you can retrain. So you need to prepare another set of videos or you need to prepare another kinds of image to do it, okay? And in this course, it's quite special because so you also need to involve the student or the parents, most likely the parents or teachers, so that you need to teach them how to train the model, okay? Because you cannot send your physical object to their home or to their classroom, okay? Okay. For example, you are going to teach them hamburger, right? So perhaps you are in UK, perhaps you are in China, perhaps you are in somewhere else. So you cannot send the hamburger to their classroom or to their homes. Well, okay. So what you are going to do is for every lessons or for every training. So you need to teach them, hey, it's time to get all the physical object out, okay, physical object, and then ask the teacher or parent, train the model first, okay, and then they export the result, put it into your applications, and then run it, okay. But don't worry, you have enough time to do this kind of practice. So as I have mentioned before, this is the power of Google Teachable Machine. Okay, so somehow you can input the image, you can input the videos, and then you can input the audios. Okay, so you can recognize the image, you can recognize the sounds, you can recognize the pose. Okay, so you can do such kind of things. It's a really funny applications. So this is one of the interesting example or interesting project. Okay, so don't think that the teachable machine is only for fun and it's only for leisure, etc. Right? So some of the IT professionals they use teachable machine to change the case of COVID-19. Okay, they collect lots of the CT scan of the lung. Okay, okay, so they collect, as I remember here, 53 CT scan of the lung that they have the COVID-19, okay, and they also collect 60, okay, 60 CT scan image that they do not have the COVID-19. They put the labels and then they put all the image into the teachable machine and train, okay, and trained, okay. So of course they train the model and success, and then the result is quite amazing. Of course, it's like normal people when you see the CT scan of the confirmed case of COVID-19, right? You definitely can find lots of the spot inside your lung, etc. Okay, so the train result is quite good. Is if is they have the COVID-19, okay, and then throughout the CT scan, okay, I can confirm is a um, COVID-19 case, the percentage, the accuracy is 85%. 85%. For the low COVID-19 case, the accuracy is 83%. So here, 83 confirmed case. Okay, so 45, I can successfully find out they have they are COVID-19 case, and then only 8 of them are fails. Okay, so this is called false positive. And then for the long COVID-19 case, so if they do not have the COVID-19, and then 50% success. Okay, so only 10 case are fails. So this is false negative. So this result is quite good, right? So you can also do this kind of settings, or it's not only about the IT application, it's not only about the do it for the IT or MLT student. For example, if you are environment science, right, or if you are somehow about some for safety. So if you have collect enough data, you can also put into this teachable machine and then try. Okay, it's easy to use, and then you can generate lots of professional. Okay, so you see, so the graph and also the accuracy, right? So you can generate lots of the professional output and then put it into your report. Okay, so nowadays doing a research is not so difficult. Okay, we have lots of the tools for you to come up with the result. The only things you need to do is prepare the data for me. Okay, prepare the meaningful data for the machine to learn.